So I wanted to make a quick video before going to bed about my story about falling in love with a facilitator. Now, this story, right, like everything that I'm saying on camera, I'm saying it on camera because I'm just documenting my process. I don't have any purpose with it. I don't have anything that I want to accomplish it. I just document whatever's happening, and if you profit from it, fine. If you don't profit from it, fine. So last November, I was going to cab sessions. It was session 16, 17. So I arrived at a cab session, and I draw a tarot card. And on the tarot card, it says, like, you're ready for a new love. It's guided by the divine. And yeah, you need to go further, and you're gonna go deeper, and this is a destined love. So, okay. And then there was a new facilitator who I didn't meet before. So she saw me and she was like, hey there, how are you? And she gave me a hug. She was like, can I hug you? I was like, sure. So she came over and she hugged me. The moment she hugged me, there was this sense of like a magnetic sense of like oneness, like a very energetic sense. And we stayed together like glued for I don't know how long, but we just kept in that hug. You know, normally you hug somebody and you let them go, but we just stayed there. There was this energetic magnetism holding us together, and I felt it. And I thought, like, I couldn't even think. I would just, like, it was the soul feeling. And I was just vibing in it, and like basking in it. And I heard her saying, this is so nice. And then she looked at me, and she was like, okay, nice to meet you. So we had a session, it was a great session. And then at the end, she's like, yeah, thank you for coming, see you next time. She gave me a hug, and I didn't expect it, but again, the moment we hugged, there was this one sense of I am home, I'm complete. And we stayed like hugging for quite a while, and all of a sudden, she was like just basking in it, and she gave me a kiss on the cheek, and she's like, yeah, we're gonna do a gathering with a big group, and you should come to it. Like, I'm gonna send you an email about it. And I was like, wow, that was really special. I never experienced that before. So spontaneously. I mean, I've had like kundalini energy sensations when I felt other people sometimes, especially my partner. But this was so like, whoa, like a new thing. Yeah, it was like I'd never had that. It was just like my sense was like, I am home, I am complete. This is a wholeness. So as I went home, I started to have this ache, and as the days passed by, I would have these thoughts of like, oh my God, I miss her. I think I'm in love with her. I think she's my soulmate or my twin flame. I need to be with her. So all these things started to come up. I started to write love letters. And then I halted myself and I was like, let's investigate this before sending it off. If it's true, it's going to be true in a couple of days. So I halted and I investigated, what was this feeling about? And through investigation, I found that it was like this aching for that experience. It was like the feeling that my mother didn't give me enough intimacy, didn't give me enough love in my childhood. So now, because there was a recognition of love with the other person, there was a feeling like I can get it from her. Like I can get it from her, and I need that from her. I need her to give that to me. So while resolving that, I used whatever was triggered in me by meeting her to heal that wound in myself. And once that was healed, I realized like my parents always gave me the love that they could. It's like my parents have bodies, and they're inhabiting their bodies, and they're waves of love, they're waves of consciousness, right? And the consciousness and the love wants to express itself fully, but because of conditioning, it's limited. Because the conditioning prevents you from expressing your love fully. If the conditioning is dissolved, love can express itself fully. So the love was always there, and you know, I was always whole. And once that realization was there, and also like the love of God was always there. Once that realization was there, I just fell on my knees and started to cry because I felt whole. And as the days progressed, I realized, looking at people, that I was always in my life looking at people with the sense of like, unconsciously, maybe I can get something from them. Yes. And it was so interesting because all of a sudden I was looking at people, and especially women, and I had the sense like, I don't need anything from them anymore. I see them, but I see them differently. I perceive them differently. I don't need to fulfill myself. I don't need to get something from them. I can just be with them and have experiences with them, but I don't need anything from them. So I felt like this detachment, or like this fullness, this wholeness in myself. So as the session continued, and as I was going to more sessions, the experiences were deepening, and I would go to different sessions with this one facilitator, and every time there would be like almost like an expectation or a build-up of like talking or revealing something about each other, and there would be like this gradual falling in love, because every time I saw her, I saw she was embodying love, kindness, gentleness, compassion, care. She was embodying all these qualities that were so dear to me, and I was falling in love with that. I was like, oh my God, like this kind of person, the way she's embodying all these things, like that's what I wanted in a partner always. That's what I always wanted, because that's how I want to be. That's what I love. And I became a bit afraid of it because I had just gone through a massive relationship of 3-4 years where I had given myself, where I had lost myself, where there was a lot of hurt. And there was this feeling I cannot go through that all over again. So I started to develop these feelings, and in a CAP session, like we were always like after a CAP session hug, and we would like hug and just have this long hug and dance together and look at each other, sometimes give a kiss on the cheek, and just like a little bit like innocent flirtation. But she did that with other people also, I suppose. But who knows, maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, we were having some contact in between, and then all of a sudden I had a CAP session where I felt this sense like this is the last session that I'm gonna have with her. I'm not gonna see her anymore till November or October. I felt it, and I shared it in the space, and she was like, oh come on, this is like nonsense, just you like don't, like, why do you want to run away from me? Why do you want to push me away? And I was like, because unconscious things in me are falling in love with you, and I don't want to embarrass myself. I don't want to like put myself in a position where all these unconscious things come out of me and I embarrass myself, and then you reject me, and like our friendship is ruined. Like I want to avoid that. So I want to, go out by myself, become enlightened, or have my own process, and then meet you in a couple of months in innocence and be like, hey, how have you been? How are you? And that nothing in me is longing for you or desiring you, that I need you. Like all that is gone, right? She's like, oh, that's like a nice fantasy, nice dream, but it's like, just keep doing the work. Don't avoid it. Don't avoid the connection. So for a time, I just withdrew, and we kept sending emails. Like I would express my feelings to her. I would express certain like breakthroughs, because there was this one session where we had 2 sessions in a row. She does these like events where she does two sessions in a row on the same day, and I had this deep breakthrough where I felt like the brokenness of my childhood, the brokenness of my personhood. And when I was home and I was processing that, I was crying, I was having this deep like revelation with my partner. I wrote her an email saying that I loved her, she was my guru, she was my light, she was my, I don't know what, like I wrote like I was channeling like this very deep emotional stuff, explaining everything to her, but I didn't know what I was writing. It was all coming from this very deep place of emotion, of energy. And afterwards she just sent me like, because I had written like so much about feeling guilty about unconsciously hurting people, and she told me, you know, the vision is manifesting itself. Everything is perfect. We are one. And I didn't understand it. So we kept messaging each other. Sometimes she would message me like, the last couple of days I've been thinking about you. How are you? How have you been doing? And I always felt like this thing of like, like I wanna ask her out, but like I feel unworthy of her because she's so like developed, she's so successful, she's so like mature and beautiful, and I'm like, you know, still growing, I'm developing, because I was I wasn't busy with that. I'm like, I don't feel like I'm good enough for her, so I never had like the feeling I can ask her out, I can start something with her. So I was avoiding that. And then after not seeing her, all of a sudden I was doing these meditations of alignment, aligning my chakras, and there was this moment where I just like, I'm gonna go to a session of her. Like somehow it aligned, and I went and I saw her, and I felt okay. And then we had a session together, and we started to have this session where we, instead of me lying there with my eyes closed and having my own process, this moment she came to me, my eyes opened up, I sat up, and we started to, you know, touch each other's heart, look into each other's eyes for minutes. I would kiss her cheek, I would stroke her cheek, I would hug her, we would have like inner dance with each other. It was very beautiful, very, very deep experiences. But before that, there was another process which was started. So she was doing a retreat. So she organizes these 5-6 days retreats in Spain, where she's doing CAP and other healing modalities. Healing or not healing, but modalities, right? So breath work and movement and dancing, all that kind of stuff. And so I wanted to go, but then I was a bit like hesitant about it. But then I was like, okay, I'll go. Like, I don't want to be afraid. And you know what the thing is? Whenever I decided to withdraw myself from having contact with her, I felt the energy in me wanted to be with her, but I was blocking it. So whenever I was like resisting going with the energy, I was blocking my own energy. And whenever I was I wanted to run away, I was also blocking the energy. So it's like, if I give in too much, I feel like almost this pull and this judgment. I don't want to be attached. I don't want to have these feelings for her. I don't want to be the chaser. I don't want to be this guy chasing her. So what had happened was, I started to have in my camp sessions these deep visions, seeing her, like I remember all of a sudden, like I'm in a session and I start to have like these deep, like very visual, intense visions about like her soul frequency. And I saw past lives. We had a past life together. I saw how we, like my heart started, like I felt like crying, like I missed you so much. I will always love you. I will always choose you. I saw us being as masculine and feminine together, creating something. I saw her getting pregnant. I saw her, me going to her, being with her. Like there were so many different visions, and some were coming back the whole time, like getting married married to her, having a baby, putting rings on each other. And it kept happening. It kept happening like 5-6 times in a row. And I was like so afraid of it, because I was like, if I'm gonna go on a retreat with her now, I'm just gonna be this hopeless guy who's falling in love, and maybe she doesn't even want me, because I know she had like a different partner. So I was like, hell no, I'm not gonna do that. So I told her, I'm not gonna come to your retreat. So I canceled. And then she was like, okay, you canceled, but because you canceled last minute, it was a week before the retreat, I would like you to donate something for my effort and the time that I put into creating this process with you in mind. And I felt like something was off. I was like, I didn't go to the retreat. I didn't receive the energy from it. Like, why should I give you some money for something I didn't receive? So I had that kind of thing going on. So I kept going to her sessions afterwards, and I started to have like these sessions of like every time in a session, just waking up and sitting there and staring with her, having inner dance with her, like cuddling with her, kissing her cheeks, kissing her feet, all these kind of stuff. And it was very beautiful, very intense, very deepening, very profound, very profound. Because in those moments, everything in you that's blocked, that's unconscious, that's afraid, it comes up, it bubbles up, you can see it, you can feel it. So then I started to tell her more and more about my process, to share, because she had this story. Because in the beginning, the first time that I told her, we were in the car, she was dropping me off at the train station, and I told her, you know, if I would allow myself to just be and follow my impulses, I would have tried to kiss you. She was like, yeah, do that. And I would just say no, I will deny. I was like, yeah, but then the dynamic is ruined. She's like, yeah, but like, allow yourself to do that. Maybe I need you to give me the opportunity to say no, I don't want to kiss you. Maybe I need that experience. So she encouraged me to follow my feelings, to be more of myself. So I was sharing my process. I was telling her about the visions. I was telling her about, like, because at certain points in the visions, I started to see how I was having sex with her, I was impregnating her, she was having a baby, all these kind of things. And I was just sharing it all with her and getting feedback from her, and then trying to release attachment to it. But the thing is, when you have like these deep visions, these deep energetic experiences, it's like you're doing a law of attraction visualization in a very strong way, because they come spontaneously. So I was in a session, and all of a sudden I see these images so bright, they're so strong, and I feel aligned to them, like they're gonna manifest in my reality in some future. Like, it felt like that. And of course, when I open my eyes, I see, okay, it's not happened yet, but I would notice that the days after a session like that, she would usually write me, or somebody would reach out to me to tell me something about our connection or something. Like, I would get these signs. It was very strange. So as the session now progressed, I would, like, even in the sharings after the session, I would share in the group my experiences. I would be looking at her and the whole group of people, and I would be saying, so I experienced having sex with you, experienced you introducing you to my parents, I experienced us being like moving in together, having a baby, all that kind of things. And I was just sharing it, and I wasn't judging it, because it was all arising, it was all there. I wasn't creating it, it was all just being given to me, and I was just sharing my process. And now all of a sudden, she just wrote me an email today saying, yeah, I always treat people with respect, openness, and love. And always treat everybody as a facilitator. I give people space and time for the process, for the different phases of the process. I tried that with you as well, but our relationship is starting to get unhealthy, and I'm forced to take on a role with which I don't resonate. So I wish you the best in your growth and in your development and on your path, but this is where our roads separate. Like, she wrote that to me, and I was so shocked by it, because I thought, like, wow, what did I do? What was the thing that made her want to break it off? Because a couple of months ago, I was the one writing to her, I don't want to have any contact with you anymore, but I was acting out of fear. I was afraid for the connection. I was afraid to fall in love. And I was saying, no, leave me alone. I don't want to have anything to do with you. And now, like now I had like recontextualized the whole thing, because I had said to myself, it's not about being with her. It's about using her as a mirror to see what is unconscious in me, what needs to be healed in me to grow spiritually. And now she is the one pushing me away because I didn't pay the donation, or because I overshared, or she thinks the relationship is becoming unhealthy and she's taking on a role that she doesn't resonate with. Like, what does that even mean? And a part of me felt really like sad, honestly. Like, I investigated it, because there was a sadness, because there was this deep belief that maybe she will be the one who will really love me. Maybe she will be the one with whom I will have that real connection and real love with. There was like some kind of hidden expectation or desire that maybe we're twin flames, maybe we're soulmates, maybe we're meant to be together, maybe all these visions will come true. And now it's like, I don't know what will happen in the future, but a part of me is glad, because I now know, I feel like I have all these feelings for her. I'm not blocking them, I'm expressing them, I'm sharing them openly and fully. I'm doing everything that I can, but I understand that she is now the one who closed off the communication, who closed off the relationship between us. So at least I don't have the weight of blocking the expression. It's just she's blocking it now because she made that radical decision. I'm very surprised by it all, because this facilitator, she has this style of talking which is very guru-like, very much about honesty, truth, vulnerability, depth, alignment. She every time a session starts, she does these very deep talks. But the thing is, when you interact with her, you get this sense of she's so flamboyant, joyful, open, kind, and sweet. But there's something missing, a kind of vulnerability, a kind of transparency. When you notice when you write emails with her, and I heard this from other people as well, or from one other person and from two persons, that she's so professional. It's like you're writing with somebody who's very professional, like a teacher, like very formal, very strict formal. Sometimes they're small personal things, or small expressions of joy, or expressions of feelings, but very, very rare. It's almost professional. And when I was in the car with her, I asked her, what's important to you? And she told me to get out of the state where we're surviving into the state where we're living, to be able to share that vulnerability, to be open with each other, to be intimate with each other, to be real with each other. And I said, you You really value that? And she said, yes. And then, I asked, are you with everybody like this? And she said, people who are close to me. And what I noticed was, during all these times that I've seen her, that I've attended a session with her, she has always, and I mean always, protected herself. She has kept this invisible barrier of protection, which doesn't shine through the things that she's struggling with. You know what I really value? When a person who is doing this kind of work, when you talk with him, he doesn't relate to you as a facilitator and a participant. He relates to you as a human being and a human being. And sometimes the human being can also share his vulnerabilities, his issues, his struggles, to share his humanity, and to not sit there and talk this guru mumbo jumbo and about like this perfect way of being, but then play it and play like the facilitator role and keep work and private life separate. It's like, I'm not a judge, and I'm not saying that I'm better, but I love transparency. I love when the person is who he is, and I see that with other people. There are people who are like that, or maybe I'm deluded and I just don't see it, but there are people who are just so transparent. They are themselves as a facilitator and outside. They are purely just, they don't change. They don't like adapt or cater to people. Or maybe it's my illusion, maybe it's my projection, maybe I'm wrong, who knows. But I noticed that. I really noticed that. It made me sad because firstly it made me realize we don't always practice what we talk about, right? We can preach, we can talk about a lot of beautiful things, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we also live that way. This whole experience, what has it taught me? It's taught me that whatever you're going through, go through it. It doesn't matter. Like, honestly, if she doesn't want to talk with me, or she doesn't want to have connection with me anymore, that's fine. It's really fine, because it's not about her. It never was about her. It was always about me. It's always about me learning to handle those experiences. Like, I wrote to her, like, I'm just a guy coming to CAP sessions, meeting you, and then starting to have all these mystical visions about us having a life together, having like these deep law of attraction kind of feelings, or my energy is aligned and drawn to you, wanting to manifest these things. Like, and I need to learn how to work with that, how to handle with that, how to relate with that. And you were like a teacher for me. You were somebody who were creating a space and time for me to go deeper into the process. And now you're locking me out. It's okay. I don't mind. I don't mind, because I know, like, I have like these deep devotion, love for her, because I've seen our past lives and I felt it. I felt that there was like this deep recognition. Wow, I know you. Like, I missed you so much. And I guess if it's real, if it's really real, if the connection is real, then I must trust in God. I must trust that by letting go and accepting what is, I'm trusting that if it is real, it will be real no matter what happens. And as time will pass, she will come back to me, or she will reach out to me, or the connection will be restored. If it's real. If it's not real, it's just gonna fade. But I have to trust that whenever something goes away, it's for my highest good. Whenever something comes to me, it's for my highest good. That it's not inherently bad or good or bad, wrong or good. It's just what is, and I need to be grateful for it and to let it go gracefully, or to accept it gracefully. This is my idea about it now. But maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? Maybe that is also wrong. Maybe it will change. But yeah, so I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it ending, because you know what's funny? I thought about it, like, before meeting her. I don't know if it's a twin flame or soulmate, but before meeting her, like, I could live. I was living, right? So I'll probably live afterwards. And like, all these feelings, they arose, but before they weren't there. So it's like these feelings are not an essential part of I. They come and they go, but I stays untouched by it. It's just feelings coming and going. And the funny thing is, like, when I was thinking about it, it's like, it's just a story, Igor. And in every story, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. And whether you get to live out the story with her, already know now there's gonna be a beginning, a middle, and an end. And if this is the end now, it's not up to you. Like, I release this situation wholeheartedly, and I trust in God's plan. I trust that whatever's meant to happen will happen. Whatever is not meant to happen will not happen. So it means all I have to do is be grateful for what I have, release all expectations, release all desire to control, and just realize, if it's real, it will come back to me, and it will be real, and she will know it, and she will feel it, and it will come. If it's not, it will disappear, and that's also okay, because that means it wasn't real. But then there's room for something real to appear. There's room for new things, because when you have like these kind of deep obsessive feelings and desires and visions, your mind gets obsessed about it because it wants to understand, it wants to make it real, to incorporate it, to manifest it. And yeah, the highest thing that you can do, apparently, I read it in Michael A. Singer's book, Untethered Soul, is letting go. So I'm letting go. I'm okay with it. Because I know in my heart I'm whole. I know in my heart I love Jesus Christ. I love God. I love life. And I'm full. I'm whole. I'm complete. I'm happy. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for all experiences, for all meetings. And I'm grateful for everything that has come, for everything that has gone, and grateful for everything that will come. It's like, before, there was always this sense of like, I need to have this, I want to have this kind of experience. And now it's like, wow, I get to experience this. Wow, I get to experience this. Wow, I get to experience this. Isn't that awesome? So yeah, that was my story. Falling in love with a cat facilitator, and well, maybe this is the end. Maybe it isn't the end, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. What matters is I lived, and I got to experience some layers. I got to, like, she was a mirror for me, interacting with her. She was like, whatever she was doing, whatever was being triggered in me, longing, desire, fear, all of that was brought up to my attention, and it was an opportunity for me to see it, to acknowledge it, and to see, why am I feeling like this? What belief is causing this? And to release it, to heal it, so that I don't repeat the same mistake, so that I don't live out my conditioning, but I'm free from the conditioning, and I'm whole, and I heal, and I can go on with my life, because life don't know, life. Do you guys think life is about being with a person, about a person? Or life is about this? Because your life here, your piece of life. Sadhguru talks about this. He says, your piece of life, this piece of life is complete. This body, this psychology, sure, it wants a different body, a different to play with, to interact with, to have experiences with. But life, this life, is complete. Yeah, I really, honestly, I was listening to so many twin flame videos and soulmate videos. I really thought like, maybe, but who knows? And the thing that I learned from all the twin flame videos is that whatever's happening, don't mind it. Don't mind it. Focus on your alignment. Focus on being in your true alignment and living your purpose, living from your true heart's desire, from your intention, from your core, and whatever is yours will appear and will be drawn to you by itself. You won't even have to try. So yeah, just be you, and everything that you're supposed to have and do and be, it will come into your vicinity. Thank you so much.